This is Dolynny TV, and guys, welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. And you know what, I saw the headlines earlier on today kind of about the season ticket talk and the programming note that 630 Chad made, and I really didn't understand what was going to go on, right? Obviously, you think, they're just going to update season tickets, here's the 5% increase or whatever the heck it is, here's a new perk, that kind of deal. But all of a sudden, I read a global news article out of Edmonton. I hope it's out of Edmonton. After I get home from work, which is like literally 20 minutes ago, and the big headline here is the Oilers are not increasing the price of season seats for the 2019-2020 season at Rogers Place. Now that all of a sudden, okay, so we have to sit here. That has some ramifications. We all know hockey's a business. Obviously, money is a big part of hockey, and hockey's a big part of money in terms of owners and stuff. But this may be our first sign that the Oilers are getting it right this offseason. This may be the first sign. Now, oh man, I do not want to be the first guy to jump the gun on that. And that's exactly what I'm going to be asking you throughout the video. Is this enough to sell you? If you're one of those fans that have had enough, have said, okay, you know what, the failure, the absolute chaos in the organization, the utter old boys club mentality, whatever your reason for disliking the Oilers right now, if A, you're a season ticket holder, or you're thinking about being a season ticket holder, or you're just a casual fan who's looking for signs from the franchise that they're committed to getting the product on the ice right, is this enough? This is a start. This is a piece. This is the business side of the Edmonton Oilers. And to that point is where I'll bring in the name Kevin Lowe, because he is the vice chairman of the Oilers Entertainment Group. So obviously, I think in that role, if I'm not mistaken, if you're the vice chairman of the organization that charges the people to watch their hockey team play, I'd imagine he had some say on this. So is this enough out of a guy like Kevin Lowe to alleviate the pressure out of him and more focus it on a guy like Craig McTavish, who's still related in the hockey operations side of the Oilers Entertainment Group? Without further ado, though, let's not worry about that. I don't want to get this into a whole old boys club mantra video. That's not where we're going today. I'm going to discuss what's in the global news article, what I've read, what I understand, and kind of give you my take on if it's enough or not. So the Oilers made the announcement. I'm literally just reading the story by Global News here. If you want the author, I'll get you the author. Slav Kornick. Good old Slav Kornick. He's been around for years at Global News. Watched him as a kid. Part of the reason I went to broadcasting school is the coverage that Global News did back in the day. Primarily centered around another disappointing season that saw the team miss the playoffs for the 12th time in 13 years. So that's exactly what the Oilers are saying, is they said, you know what, we're doing this partly because we keep the failure continued, and what reason do we have to realistically raise the prices? So that's for season tickets holders, and it was certainly a frustrating season for all Oilers fans. The letter read, well, guys, do we need a letter to read that? I don't think we do, but at least it's, if in any official capacity, that the Oilers are acknowledging that the fans are frustrated. I guess it's a good first step. Maybe should have come in cleaning house way back when, last year after that failure, but maybe I don't know. Remember, we don't know what goes on in the Oilers chambers anymore. It's gone on the same way for 12, 13, 14, 15, 20. When they trade Gretzky, we can say things will be different and that better days are ahead, but we understand you have heard that before. How? Okay, that's the next line in this article, and that's a good one. We need to deliver on the ice and reward your loyalty by getting the Oilers into the playoffs and consistently contending for the Stanley Cup. Okay, so obviously what they said in the first part is, we can say better days are ahead, but you've heard that before. And then they go on to repeat the fact that we've already heard that before. Like literally a line, two lines we've heard several times in the past 7-8 years. Okay, that's an article. I don't know where the source is, but it's in the Global News article. I trust that it's factual. I trust that it's correct. And just to see that that was taken out of some release from the Edmonton Oilers is just a little bit, I don't know what to say about that, because you sit here and you think, okay, you're saying we've heard this before, and now you're giving us what we've heard before. It just, sort of, I don't know if it makes sense in an Oilers sense of things where they seem to do this kind of double-edged kind of deal all the time, but it hurts my head a little bit. Anyway, in the letter, the franchise said there will be a 15% reduction in the cost of food and beverages for fans who have a season seat card. So guys, I'm going to do some quick math. If a beer at Rogers Place is $8.25, now I haven't been there in over a year, so don't get me wrong. The last game I saw was a Connor McDavid beauty game against the Minnesota Wild at Rogers Place. So a 15% reduction on an $8.25 beer. This is obviously what a lot of guys are looking for, a lot of girls are looking for going to the game. That is a cost reduction from $8.25, say that's the price, to $7 even. So right there, you're saving $1.25 a beer a game. You buy 5, you've got yourself a free beer essentially. So this is where I'm getting to. Is this enough to entice the season ticket holders? Is this a good enough first step overall for Oilers fans to see that the Oilers are listening to the cause and concern of the fans? So that's the food and beverage stuff. Additionally, the Oilers said there will be additional game tickets available at season seat prices. So right there, if they don't sell the season tickets full out, that's what I'm assuming from the way I understand hockey tickets work. If they don't sell 100% of the season tickets, which are reserved for season seats, those will be available at more season seat prices. So I'm imagining what you'd have in lower bowl 1, right? What you'd kind of go probably row 7 all the way up to the end of the lower bowl. That's what you'd be assuming to be a little bit cheaper next year for the casual fan like me in the past who's gone to a game or 2 a year or whatever. And I mean, I'd love to go to more, but A, cost, and B, living 3 hours out of Edmonton, it kind of makes it hard, right? So that's right there. That's a good thing to go. An increase to the ticket price listing minimums on Oilers Ticket Exchange. Okay, there you go. And monthly open practices and weekly building tours for season ticket holders, as well as monthly opportunities for season seat holders to win unique Oilers experiences. So that right there, that's fully geared. That's fully geared at season ticket holders. However, if you're a guy that has a friend that has season ticket holders, or you're still under 18 and your parents have season tickets, this means a little bit more privilege for you when it comes to the Oilers as a culture, almost, I guess you could say, right? The culture of the Oilers, getting to know what makes the Oilers off the ice. And that's a big part of that. Honestly, you put up that much taxpayer money and you put up that much private money and build an arena. The big part of that is the arena. The organization said the changes were made following from season seat holders' feedback. We know that your decision to renew your seats is not tied to just team performance in the arena experience. We've heard the challenges many have faced this year in a tough Alberta economy. Well, I'm not going to address that because I do not want to open up that firestorm, other than I will admit it is an absolute hard economy. Being in an industry that relies on the housing industry, guys, it is a tough go out there right now for a lot of Albertans. The best thing we can do is lift each other up, and obviously now this is where you get into the socioeconomics of a business based on sport, and I ain't going there. I understand where they're going, and I understand it completely. But to look at it from that perspective, I'd rather just look at it from an organizational failure of on-ice product perspective, and that's where I want to keep the conversation. Obviously, there's maybe going to be some changes coming to the economic situation in Alberta, but don't want to get going there today. So, guys, that's this in a nutshell. The last privilege. Guys, if your family, your friends, somebody you know has season seats for this year or next year, or however season seats carry over, you will have an opportunity to purchase tickets for the 2021 World Champion Junior Games at Rogers Place before they are made available to the general public. So, seriously, that right there alone is key number 1. For me, if you're an Oilers fan with season seats next season, get yourself some of those tickets. Guys, that I watched the World Junior A Challenge, and just the atmosphere created by best on best international hockey in your backyard is absolutely phenomenal. So right there, that's one thing I will say makes it go far enough. But that's a general way it works within season seat holders. That's their sales tactic. That's a sales tactic. That's not a hey, we're listening. That's just a sales tactic. That's every 31 teams in the NHL have some kind of package with that aspect attached to it. So guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Now comes the question part. Is it enough for you guys to consider, well, if you already have season tickets, is this enough to say, hey, I'll spend another year. The worst it could be is the same as this year and I've spent no more money, or, right, What's your take on this? I hate discussing business in sport. I've been on some nasty ends of it. It's just not my favorite thing to do. However, in a move like this, after a season like this, it's worth noting, it's worth talking about, and it's worth discussing today. Let's get it going in the comments section below, guys. I'm Tyson. Like I said, this is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.